can you tell if you have an unhealthy relationship with food? You might think, do I have a few unhealthy habits, or does your life get taken over by thinking about food and food in general? Well, that's what I thought I'd talk about today. Give you some examples of what unhealthy versus healthy looks like for you. So hi, I'm Vanessa McLennan, and I help people with their binge eating and overeating by working on the inner them to help them have a life free from food stress. So if you like what you see on this channel, please click on the subscribe button and click on the bell for my next videos. So why our relationship with food is an extension of us. Anything outside of us that we have a relationship with, and an intangible thing, really is a mirror of us, or an extension of us. Now, hey, what do I mean by that? So how we show up, with ourselves, how we are, we create this map of our world, our belief system, what we think, and our emotions. This is what we believe the world to be. And when we have a relationship with something else, that intangible being, that shows up in that relationship, and it's almost like we treat that person or that thing as if how we treat ourselves, how we are, as an extension of us. So something outside of us that we may have a relationship with that is intangible would definitely be other people, maybe animals, money, but definitely food will come into this. So it's really useful to see underlying patterns of how you perhaps treat other people or animals, or how you are with them, and does that replicate your relationship with food? What is the underlying pattern in all of that together? So what are some really healthy examples of relationship with food? And this isn't a guide to go, right, this is where you should be. I really want you to take a note of this, to go, okay, this is just an example. Wherever you are today is okay. And this is an example that you can look at to go, okay, this is just a guide to get an idea of what healthy looks like, so that's maybe something I can think about. How can I bring in more into my life, as opposed to beating yourself up about it because it's not where you are. So this is just a guide, and here are some examples of what I've seen of some healthy versus unhealthy relationships with food. Good or bad. So unhealthy is you have eaten something that is not so healthy for you, like chocolate cake, crisps, chocolate, and you've eaten it and therefore you have been bad. So I see this quite a lot, where people eat lots of stuff and it's like, I have been bad today, I've not been very good today because I have eaten, X, Y, Z, or I need to be good tomorrow. And as a flip side to it is that when then you eat something that is healthy, it is, I've been good today. So it's like you have taken that on board, as in almost like your identity. You're either good or you're bad. You've eaten something that's not so healthy, and it's like you have done something that's not very good for you. Not quite a crime, but it's really, almost like you need to be punished, or it's not very, very good at all, perhaps disappointed with yourself. So therefore you need to write it and you need to do something good. Where healthy is you eat a food that's either, good, it's neither good nor bad, it's just maybe unhealthy. So you have eaten the chocolate cake, the crisps, the chocolate, and you're able to go, oh well, I've eaten the chocolate cake, I enjoyed it. So you're able to enjoy it for that moment, but then move on, because you perhaps know that you're not going to be eating that all of the time, or you're just able to move on past it to go, okay, I enjoyed it for what it was, and now I'm starting again. So you don't take on that behaviour as either good or bad. It is what it is, in that you could relabel it to go, I have just eaten some food that is not so healthy for me. That's okay, I enjoyed it, but now I'm going to choose healthier foods. That would be a healthier way of being. Obsession. So unhealthy is where you are almost obsessive about food, and food addiction comes in here. Food and thinking about food is taking over your life. So you have to eat, You know, maybe you have to eat like chocolate, crisps, something savoury, something very sweet, and it's almost like an addiction with it. That comes into here. You might spend a lot of your time thinking about what you can eat, what you can't eat, what you shouldn't eat, what you have to eat, how not to think about food, when can you eat, you know, so it's like becomes this all-consuming thing. And maybe when you don't eat particular foods, like if you have an addiction to them, you know, you can get withdrawal symptoms, or that's all you think about. And then a load of emotions come in here, because do you beat yourself up about it, about what you should, what you shouldn't, and have you eaten that? And so a lot of emotions also come into play here. So this is unhealthy, because food or not food is taking up a lot of your energy and a lot of your focus, and that could mean that you are then neglecting other areas of your life, or even neglecting yourself in some way. And I think the key is here, when you become, you know, quite obsessive over it, is to really give yourself just some slack, give yourself some kindness, to go, okay, this is where I am, and it's okay. Now there's a train of thought that if you give yourself some slack or give yourself some kindness here, that you'll carry on eating. Not necessarily so. In fact, what you're doing is just putting the pause on your thoughts, and just to go observe where you are with them, to then help you break out of this obsessive cycle. And healthy therefore looks like, you can almost like sometimes take or leave food. You like food, you enjoy food, you can have the crisps, you can have the chocolate, but once you've had it, that's like satisfied a need, and you can let it go. Or you like, today I don't feel like it, today I don't want to eat chocolate, today I'm feeling like really healthy, I don't want to eat that food, so you can let it go. You might think about what you might want for dinner, or, you know, lunch, and then once you've had it, that's it, it go, you know, you don't think about it anymore. Or you might think in the morning, once you've gone to the shops, you've got your stuff, you're then, let's say, at work and dinner's not for a good few hours, you might not think about it again. So there's not that obsession and taking over with, you know, yourself or what it is that you're eating. It's you have the space, the capacity to think of lots of other things, and you certainly, your priorities are perhaps you first, or your family, you know, that comes in first, your well-being, and food plays into that, rather than food being the priority and everything else feeds into that. Disordered eating. So unhealthy eating is where there is no regularity or structure to it. So you may binge out one minute or really restrict the next. I see a lot of people who, you know, want to lose weight, they want to get healthy, so they really restrict themselves during the day, you know, don't have that much breakfast or hardly have any lunch, and then when it comes to later on in the evening, they are really, really hungry, and so they eat, you know, lots of food, but because they're so hungry, it turns out to be like microwave food, or it's lots of slices of bread, which gives you that feeling of, you know, satisfaction a lot quicker, rather than cooking a healthy, nutritious meal. Alcohol also perhaps plays a part in this, where alcohol can either set you off binging, or it could fill you up so that you get quite inebriated, where you then forget about food, and then you forget, and then the next morning you wake up, you know, hungover or feeling tired, really groggy, and so what comes in is a big, heavy, you know, comforting breakfast, stodgy breakfast, where then you feel sluggish and low all day. So unhealthy is there is no order to it, and you may or may not feel hunger, but you're definitely disconnected from it, and it's a bit like you eat sometimes when you're hungry, or you forget about the hunger, or you try to dismiss the hunger, and then of course it comes full up, you know, very, very hungry, so then you binge out on lots and lots, and typically this is food that is not healthy for you. So in other words, it's giving you something else other than fuel. Healthy eating is eating with regularity, or there is structure to it, and you're not eating structurally because that is what you're supposed to do. You're eating because that is what your body is telling you to do, and it doesn't mean that you have to eat breakfast or you have to eat lunch. They might not conform with, you know, the ideas of breakfast, lunch and dinner, but you are listening to your body's needs, and you're eating when you're slightly hungry and you're fulfilling that need. So this is called, intuitive eating, and it's very tuned into your body's needs. So you're eating when you're hungry, but you're also really in tune with what sort of foods your body is craving for. What type of fruits or what type of vegetables, what is it that you need in your body? Like, do I need energy? Do I need a high spurt of energy? And you sort of instinctively know what foods will give you that. You're also able to know that if you've eaten something and you're still hungry, you're able to eat some more without any feelings, attached to it. You're just that bit hungrier. And you eat what you need to eat. You're able to leave food, without having to clear the whole of your plate. If you have food that's not been eaten, you're able to chuck it away in the bin because you know you don't need it in your body. You're perhaps able to do intermittent fasting, and that doesn't cause you to binge because you again are listening to your body, and you've got a very set pattern of when you're hungry, what you need, and when you need it, and you're able to follow that, and there are no sort of negative emotions that come in to throw you off the course of that. An emotional substitute. So unhealthy is where food becomes an emotional substitute for you. So food can either help you suppress emotions, so you may unconsciously start feeling something, you don't like it, and food comes in to help you manage those emotions. So it might be you feel anger, you feel stressed, and food is used as a reset or just to help you calm down. Food can also give something to you that you are not feeling. So food might give you a great level of comfort, a great level of satisfaction, fulfillment, because you've eaten. Is your stomach bloated? Do you feel really, really good from that? Food can also be there, as a level of security, a level of, let's say, friendship almost. It's there because you know what you're going to get with it. You know the flavours, you know how you're going to feel afterwards, and it's that bit is constant for you. So when you have that constant in your life, and if nothing else has been constant, that can be very reassuring. So hence, that food then is providing that safety and comfort for you when nothing else is. And then of course that's unhealthy, because food is providing your emotional needs as opposed to you providing your emotional needs. And so therefore healthy looks like you can eat food, but you don't really have an emotional attachment to it. Yes, you like it. Yes, you know what you like, as in tastes, flavours, textures. But when you eat it, yes, you may feel good, but it doesn't satisfy, a deeper connection for you. You may feel contentment, at your stomach filling up, but it doesn't replace any other emotion. So in other words, when you are bored, when you are frustrated, you're able to deal with those emotions. When you get into an argument with somebody, you're able to recognize their emotions and then manage them and then process them. Food does not come into that to help you do that. So let me know in the comments below what you think and which part resonated the most for you. Thank you.